The world we live in is full of incredible events, and some of them are truly unique. The chances of them happening again are almost zero. In this video, I have gathered for you the rarest moments that were captured on camera. Enjoy watching. Sagada, located in the Philippines, is a fascinating place where the unique culture of the indigenous people blends with the breathtaking beauty of wild nature. Sagada is home to many unique attractions such as Echo Valley and Sumaging Cave, where tourists can learn about the unusual tradition of burying the dead in hanging coffins. In addition, Sagada is also known for its extraordinary blue hills. To reach this location, one must hike for about 2 hours. However, the journey is a pleasure in itself, as the natural surroundings are simply magical. The uniqueness of the Blue Hills lies in their unusual blue hue, which is how they got their name. This color is due to a copper-rich coating on the rocky formations. It is said that during the rain, the Blue Hills become even more mesmerizing as the moisture intensifies their rich blue shade. Our lives are full of dangers, and sometimes they catch us off guard in what seems to be the safest place, our own home. This was exactly the situation that the Well family from Louisiana found themselves in during Hurricane Ida. Hurricane Ida formed on August 26, 2021 and struck the southeastern United States. The hurricane's wind speed reached 240 km per hour, with gusts in some areas reaching up to 280 km per hour. Ida was classified as Category 4 storm on the 5-level Saffir-Simpson scale. At the peak of the hurricane, the Well family was inside their home. A security camera installed in their basement captured footage that demonstrated the sheer power of Hurricane Ida. The video shows the basement filling with water, and shortly after, the outer wall is blown out by the storm. Fortunately, the rest of the house remained intact and the family was safe. As a result of this powerful cyclone, many buildings were destroyed, and perhaps the only true protection against such winds is reinforced structures. Nature spares no one and almost always strikes unexpectedly. As a result of severe natural disasters, settlements suffer enormous damage, and sometimes such catastrophes claim a significant number of lives. When faced with a disaster, people instinctively try to save not only themselves, but also those around them, especially if they are completely helpless. This was exactly the situation that nurses and doctors at a maternity hospital in Taiwan found themselves in when a powerful earthquake struck the island in 2024. Heartbreaking footage was published online capturing the hospital staff's actions. When the women realized what was happening, they rushed into the room where several incubators with newborns were kept. They tried to withstand the shaking while holding onto the cribs with the babies inside. Thanks to their coordinated efforts, none of the infants were harmed. The earthquake, which occurred on April 3, 2024, was the strongest in Taiwan in the past 25 years. Its magnitude was estimated at 7.7. If you are afraid of centipedes, then you should never visit Australia because you might encounter giant creatures like the ones seen in this footage. The author of the video claims that it captures a giant centipede that he came across during his travels in Australia. Chelyabinsk is the 8th most populous city in Russia with a population of nearly 1,200,000 people. This city is recognized as one of the country's leading industrial centers. More than 300 industrial enterprises are located in its territory. In 2013, an unusual event occurred in Chelyabinsk, which some residents of the city managed to capture on camera. On the morning of February the 15th, people saw a meteorite rushing through the sky at great speed. Moments later, it exploded. The explosion's power was about 500 kilotons in TNT equivalent. The shockwave spread over a distance of more than 90 kilometers, and fragments of the meteorite fell onto the city. This led to partial damage to more than 7,000 buildings in Chelyabinsk. It was later revealed that the meteorite exploded in the upper layers of the atmosphere. Its speed was over 18 kilometers per second. The meteorite had a diameter of about 29 meters and weighed around 13,000 tons. It is terrifying to imagine what could have happened to the city if the atmosphere did not protect our planet from various cosmic objects. Salmon are unique fish that must undertake risky journeys throughout their lives. The reason for this is that salmon live in salt water, but they always return to freshwater bodies to spawn. After spending some time in their native freshwater environment, salmon begin their journey toward the sea. To reach salt water, they must travel vast distances, navigating through turbulent rivers, waterfalls, and other obstacles. In the ocean, salmon spend several years building strength and endurance before making their journey home. Before spawning, salmon accumulate a significant amount of fat, which they need for the long trip. But how do these fish find their way home? It turns out that salmon have an incredible memory and excellent navigation skills, which together allow them to precisely locate the place where they were born. During spawning, salmon are extremely vulnerable, often falling prey to predators and humans. The journey home and the process of reproduction drain them of their strength, which is why in many cases, both males and females perish after fulfilling their purpose. Many people consider the Canary Islands in Spain to be a perfect resort destination and dream of living in this paradise forever. However, residents of some islands in the archipelago sometimes find themselves at the center of terrible natural disasters. This is exactly what happened to the inhabitants of La Palma Island. La Palma is considered the greenest island of the Canary archipelago. Most of its territory is covered by lush green forests. However, the island is also home to active volcanoes. On September the 19th, 2021, an eruption began at one of the volcanoes called Cumbre Vieja. As a result of the eruption, a crack formed in the crater wall, causing the northern flank of the volcano's cone to collapse. After this, giant volcanic boulders the size of 3-story buildings began to fall from the volcano. In this footage, you can see how powerful and destructive this eruption was. It was dangerous to remain in the nearby settlements, so more than 7,000 people were evacuated. After almost 2 months, when the volcano finally fell silent again, the residents were able to return home. Animals that end up in zoos experience great distress and true stress. Some of them eventually adapt to life in captivity, while others begin to behave in an extremely strange manner. This is exactly the kind of behavior that staff at Beijing Zoo encountered. In 2020, zoo visitors noticed that a white Bengal tiger was constantly walking in circles. It had even trampled a perfect circular path in its enclosure. People shared the footage online and demanded an explanation from the zoo staff. The zoo's management stated that they had already begun working on the issue and that the animal was receiving psychological assistance. They explained that the tiger had recently arrived at the zoo and was deeply depressed. The Austrian Alps are a place where one always wants to return. Endless mountain peaks, green valleys, rushing rivers, and alpine lakes leave no one indifferent. However, mountains always hide dangers, and anything can happen in such terrain. A German tourist became a witness to a unique phenomenon and managed to capture it on camera. In the footage, we see tons of snow flowing down the mountain slopes, resembling a river where all the water has turned into snow. The video's author was curious to learn about the nature of this phenomenon, so he shared it online. Experts explained that snow rivers form in snow-covered mountains when there is a sudden rise in temperature. Under such conditions, an avalanche turns into a semi-melted mass of snow, which then flows down the slopes like a stream. This phenomenon looks both mesmerizing and frightening at the same time. Imagine yourself in a boat somewhere in Prince William Sound, Alaska. You are enjoying a sunny day, the singing of birds, and a light crisp breeze when suddenly you hear a powerful splash of water and see a gigantic humpback whale. This was exactly the situation the author of this video found themselves in. Of course, this professional photographer had been specifically waiting for a whale encounter, and he was extremely fortunate. Not only did he capture their spectacular breaches, but he also managed to record a unique phenomenon known as bubble net feeding. Humpback whales use this unusual hunting technique to trap their prey with a net made of bubbles, and now you have the chance to see how this works. During this type of hunt, the whale dives deep and swims in a circle around its prey, releasing bubbles. This creates a ring of bubbles that prevents krill or other prey from escaping. Then, the whale opens its mouth wide, swallowing the entire school of fish. Scientists have long been studying this fascinating behavior. They have discovered that whales exhibit intelligence in controlling the number and size of bubbles, as well as the diameter of the trap. This unique hunting method allows whales to catch up to 7 times more prey than with normal diving. The city of Dumont, located in the state of Minnesota, is known for its cold winters. Quite often, temperatures drop to -18 degrees Celsius and strong blizzards begin. However, nature sometimes delights local residents with sunny days, and it was on one of these days that these breathtaking shots were taken. This video captures a rare and astonishing phenomenon known as sundogs. This phenomenon is a type of halo in which one or more bright spots resembling the sun appear in the sky. Most often, this phenomenon occurs at sunrise or sunset when the sun is closest to the horizon. Sundogs form in the atmosphere at low temperatures due to the refraction of sunlight through ice crystals. This phenomenon is rarely observed, but the creator of the video was lucky enough not only to witness it, but also to share this wonder with others. Global warming has caused residents of China's Shandong province to suffer from extreme heat in recent years. During the summer months, air temperatures have begun rising to 35 degrees Celsius. Accustomed to endless sunny days, the region's residents were taken by surprise on July 6, 2024, when the sky suddenly filled with thick gray clouds. At first, people were happy, thinking that much-needed rain was finally coming. However, within minutes, their joy turned into horror and panic as a powerful tornado struck Dongming County. Local residents managed to capture the destruction of several buildings that were caught in the tornado's path. The footage shows high-rises disappearing into the swirling vortex as debris is lifted into the air. From another angle, even more terrifying footage was recorded. In these shots, we can see the full force of the tornado, which not only rips off building facades but also demolishes entire walls. Unfortunately, as a result of this tornado, 5 people lost their lives and more than 80 others sustained injuries of varying severity. In 2023, the well-known travel blogger Louis Cole took his surfboard to one of the beaches of Southern California. After he posted a video of his journey, his followers realized that he had chosen this location for a special reason. It turns out that Cole had discovered that the coast of Southern California is one of the few places where a spectacular phenomenon, bioluminescent waves, can be observed. In the footage, the ocean water is seen glowing with a shimmering blue light. It looks as if countless tiny lights are scattered across the waves, or as if someone installed underwater illumination. However, this magical anomaly is actually caused by special phytoplankton capable of emitting a blue glow. Experts explain that this phenomenon occurs rarely and only when the ocean water becomes very warm. These phytoplankton thrive in warm waters and tend to gather in areas where conditions are favorable for them. Although this phenomenon looks fantastic at night, during the day the water takes on an unappealing rusty hue. Moreover, the proliferation of this plankton negatively affects marine animals as they release toxins that irritate the skin and lungs. For this reason, scientists advise against excessive swimming in the ocean during this phenomenon. Stromboli is a small island that is actually an active volcano. It is located in the Tyrrhenian Sea in Italy. The volcano is constantly active, and its most recent eruption occurred in 2019. It all started on July the 3rd. Tourists on the beaches of Sicily heard a loud explosion and then saw a column of smoke and ash. It became clear that an eruption had occurred. However, the Italian authorities reassured visitors, stating that the volcano was at a safe distance from the resort towns and that there was no danger to people. Firefighters were dispatched to Stromboli from a nearby island, but their assistance was not needed. Another eruption occurred on August the 30th of the same year, but just like the previous one, it resulted in no casualties. The Great Plains are located in North America. This plateau is known for its strong winds and devastating tornadoes, which occur most frequently in spring and summer. From June 16 to June 18, 2014, a terrifying natural phenomenon known as a tornado outbreak occurred in the Great Plains. As a result of a powerful storm, 5 tornadoes formed, 4 of which were extremely strong. The first settlement hit by the disaster was the town of Pickle in the state of Nebraska. In this footage, you can see what people had to endure that day, as well as how massive and dangerous these tornadoes were. These tornadoes look terrifying, but they do not compare to the one that struck Omaha in 1913. That natural disaster destroyed more than 800 homes. The tornado was so powerful that steel train cars were found pierced through by debris from destroyed houses. In December 2019, an unusual incident occurred in the Guangxi Autonomous Region of China, attracting the attention of the press and the public worldwide. This event was caught on surveillance camera. The footage shows a section of the road gradually sinking, and within a few seconds, a large sinkhole forms in the area. As it was later discovered, a drainage pipe burst during the night, causing the formation of a massive hole in the asphalt measuring 5 by 8 meters. The most terrifying part of this story was that at the moment the road collapsed, 2 men and a motorcyclist fell into the hole. Fortunately, none of them sustained serious injuries. The state of Kerala is located in the southernmost part of the Indian subcontinent. Most of its territory consists of wild, mountainous regions covered in dense forests. The climate in Kerala is humid, tropical, and oceanic. Natural disasters are rare in this state. However, on August 6, 2020, a massive landslide hit Pettimudi and Idukki following prolonged and heavy rainfall. One of the local residents managed to capture this disaster on camera and uploaded the footage online. The video shows a destructive landslide descending from the highlands. At the time of recording, it had not yet gained full force, making it difficult to assess how powerful it became when it finally hit the settlements and plantations. However, the aftermath speaks for itself. The landslide destroyed a vast number of agricultural lands. Unfortunately, there were also human casualties. This disaster claimed 66 lives. Jammu and Kashmir is a former Indian state known for the beauty of its landscapes thanks to its location in the Himalayan mountains. The region is home to numerous picturesque valleys, towering peaks, and mountain rivers. Local residents are accustomed to the dangers of living in mountainous terrain, but sometimes even they find themselves in situations where their hearts freeze with fear. These workers found themselves in serious danger when a rock formation above their heads suddenly began to collapse. The footage shows a massive piece of rock breaking away and crashing down, triggering a rockfall and landslide. After the rock fragment fell, a large cloud of dust rose into the air. During this time, the workers could only stand and watch the scene unfold. It is likely that in the moment of the collapse, their entire lives flashed before their eyes. Later, it became clear that human activity was to blame for this incident. The collapse occurred as a result of massive deforestation, which weakened the rock formations. Indonesia is the largest island nation in the world, which is why it is often called the land of 1,000 islands. Indonesia is home to many volcanoes, the majority of which are located on the islands of Java and Sumatra. The stratovolcano Sinabong, located in the northern part of Sumatra, was considered dormant for nearly 400 years. However, in 2010, it suddenly awakened. Since then, Sinabong has been erupting regularly. Perhaps its most powerful eruption occurred in August 2020. Residents of nearby villages witnessed a truly terrifying spectacle. What happened next can be seen in this footage. A massive cloud of smoke and ash erupted from the volcano's crater, reaching a height of more than 5 kilometers. People had to urgently evacuate their homes as staying in the settlement was extremely dangerous. Fortunately, despite the immense power of the eruption, no one was injured. On April 20, 2019, a terrible yet unique incident occurred in the Gulf of Mexico. On that day, off the coast of the Mexican city of Ciudad del Carmen, a gas leak occurred on a pipeline belonging to the state-owned oil and gas company Pemex, which ultimately led to an underwater fire. Footage from the scene instantly spread across news channels and the internet, and now you have the opportunity to see what happened that day in the Gulf of Mexico. As seen in these shots, a circular area formed in the middle of the water from which fire continuously erupted. It looked so surreal that some viewers compared the blazing area to a portal to the underworld. This accident posed serious environmental risks, so Pemex tried to resolve the problem as quickly as possible. First, they stopped the gas supply, and then they sent 3 specialized vessels to the site to extinguish the fire. In the end, the entire operation took more than 5.5 hours. The accident was eliminated, but the footage and photographs from the incident site continue to gain views, as it is not every day that one can see so much fire surrounded by water. In Iceland's Skaftafell National Park, there is a unique place, the Jökulsárlón Glacier Lagoon. Covering an area of more than 18 square kilometers, it is the largest glacial lagoon in the world. The lagoon was formed as a result of the melting of a massive glacier. This place has a special charm and beauty, which is why thousands of tourists visit it every year. The unique feature of Salmon lies in the unusual blue-green color of its icebergs, which is caused by the mixture of saltwater and fresh water. Visitors to the lagoon can enjoy the breathtaking scenery and observe resting seals. Additionally, a rare phenomenon can sometimes be witnessed here: the collapse of glaciers. This happens infrequently, and it is impossible to predict when it will occur. These visitors to the lagoon were lucky enough to witness it firsthand, as tons of ice broke off from a massive iceberg and fell into the lake. The sight was spectacular, but people had to leave their viewing platform to avoid being caught in the water. Meanwhile, we have the chance to watch this event from a completely safe distance. Canada is the second largest country in the world by area. However, it is not so much its size that makes it famous, but the magnificence of its wild nature. Canada is home to many truly unique places, and now I want to introduce you to Spotted Lake, also known as Chelyabinsk Lake. Chelyabinsk Lake is located in the eastern Similkameen Valley in British Columbia. This body of water can be called a unique natural wonder because of its distinctive appearance. From a bird's eye view, the lake resembles honeycombs. This feature is due to the fact that Chelyabinsk's waters contain significant deposits of magnesium sulfate, calcium, and sodium, as well as 8 other elements. In summer, when most of the water evaporates, peculiar colorful spots remain on the lake's surface, with their color depending on the type of mineral. For a long time, this place attracted tourists, and in 1979 there were plans to build a resort in the area. However, the local Okanagan indigenous people consider the lake sacred and prohibit any tourist construction in the region. To gain official rights to Chelyabinsk, the indigenous people purchased over 22 hectares of land around the lake. As a result, this extraordinary body of water is now owned by the original inhabitants of the land. Australia is a fascinating country known for its rich flora and fauna. But perhaps the most unique natural wonder in Australia is the stunning Lake Hillier. Its uniqueness lies in the fact that its waters are pink. Just look at how magical this body of water appears. Lake Hillier is located on Middle Island in southwestern Australia. The lake is about 600 meters long and approximately 250 meters wide. Its color never changes and always remains pink. This lake was first discovered in 1802 by European explorers. Unfortunately, the reason for its pink color remains a mystery. Some scientists believe that the hue is due to the high salt concentration, while others are convinced that it is caused by algae producing a special pigment. Oil is an important natural resource. Some countries can boast a large number of oil fields, but is that really a good thing? After all, oil spills often occur, negatively impacting the environment. These shots capture an oil spill on the border between Haiti and the Caribbean Sea. The liquid oil gradually turns into a bubbling, sticky substance, resembling a terrifying monster trying to break free from the water. Of course, this incident was not a large-scale spill, but the way it happened looked very unusual. The city of Portage, located in Kalamazoo County, Michigan, frequently experiences storms and tornadoes. On May 7, 2024, the residents of Portage once again had to endure the full force of nature. That day, a powerful tornado struck the city and its surroundings. What happened outside was captured by one of the outdoor surveillance cameras. The footage shows how the powerful wind begins to bend trees. Within seconds, they are all broken, and shortly afterward, visibility on the street becomes poor. Branches, leaves, and various debris are lifted into the air, swirling together with raindrops. Later, it was revealed that the city had been hit not by one, but by 2 tornadoes. The maximum speed of the most powerful one exceeded 280 kilometers per hour. Several buildings were seriously damaged and power lines were downed, leading to electricity outages. However, fortunately, no one was injured. Kilauea volcano is located on the island of Hawaii in the Hawaiian archipelago. It is the youngest volcano in the archipelago and at the same time, the most active volcano in the world. Since 2018, Kilauea has been experiencing a new series of eruptions. During one of them, lava continuously flowed from a fissure in the volcano for several months. Scientists were concerned about this and predicted that due to the rising lava levels, the volcano would soon erupt explosively. However, this has not yet happened, and in late December 2024, a new eruption began. Daredevils decided to capture on camera the sight of lava streaming into the ocean. This spectacle is truly breathtaking, but being near an erupting volcano is extremely dangerous. Despite all the warnings and even fines, both tourists and locals still approach Kilauea to document its eruption. You have probably heard of fascinating marine creatures called coral polyps, but you have likely never seen how they feed. Thanks to this footage, you now have a unique opportunity to witness it. This footage was taken in June 2024 at a Russian resort. That day, a heavy downpour was followed by strong squalls of wind, and then a tornado appeared on the horizon. Surprisingly, right next to it, an unusual figure resembling a giant monster also took shape. What exactly it was remains unknown, but the sight was truly terrifying. Water is the main source of life for everything that exists on our planet, and with changing air temperatures, nature creates true wonders with it. In May 2016, visitors to a lake in Quebec, Canada, witnessed an unusual phenomenon. Due to air temperature fluctuations, the ice on the lake began to melt, and then the water droplets froze again. As a result, millions of tiny ice crystals formed. In some parts of the lake, the ice was thin enough to allow small waves to form, which rocked the ice crystals, creating unique sounds. Many witnesses noted that these sounds were like something out of a fairy tale and had a calming effect. As a result, people constantly gathered by the lake, some to observe the phenomenon while others simply enjoyed nature's magical melody. A similar phenomenon occurred in a nearby forest where people discovered unusual ice formations protruding from the damp earth. The majority of Saudi Arabia is covered by deserts, so local residents are accustomed to frequent sandstorms. However, in the spring of 2023, a sandstorm of such intensity hit the outskirts of Riyadh that people were completely stunned. These storms are known as haboobs. They form when a fast-moving cold atmospheric front pushes forward a towering wall of dust, which can reach up to 1.5 kilometers in height and 30 kilometers in width. Typically, heavy rain and thunderstorms follow a haboob. The footage shows how quickly the storm engulfs the outskirts of the Saudi capital, and then on the horizon, an enormous wall of sand emerges. Within minutes, the streets darken significantly and all buildings become enveloped in a cloud of dust and sand. During a haboob, it is advised to stay indoors with doors and windows tightly shut. However, many people instead choose to step outside to witness this rare natural phenomenon. Catalonia is located in the northeastern part of Spain. This autonomous region is extremely popular among tourists, and it is no surprise why. Here, one can simultaneously admire the scenic Mediterranean beaches and medieval architecture. Usually, Catalonia enjoys warm and sunny weather, but in the summer of 2022, something completely unexpected happened. The sky suddenly darkened with heavy clouds, strong winds picked up, and then an intense hailstorm began. Within minutes, actual ice projectiles, each measuring more than 12 centimeters in diameter, started falling from the sky. The aftermath of this hailstorm can be seen in the following footage. The hail caused severe damage to agricultural crops, damaged thousands of cars, and even destroyed the roofs of some buildings. It was the most intense hailstorm in Spain in the past 20 years. These breathtaking shots were taken by tourists who traveled to the Iguazu Falls in Argentina along the Iguazu River. Of course, no camera can fully capture the beauty of this place, but thanks to this video, you can imagine the emotions people felt when they found themselves surrounded by the magnificence of wild nature and roaring waterfalls, especially while passing under a rainbow. And that's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Your support is the best reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.